Cool. And we're live. So welcome everyone to the first BSides pre-conference live stream. Hope you're having a good week so far, and we're glad that you can be joining us today from wherever you are around Australia. Firstly, as you can see, we have a Discord chat and a YouTube chat. Both of you can join in the conversation. If you've got any questions for anyone, please chuck them in there and we can have a chat and we'll bring it up. So my name's Sneaky. I'm joined by Dogsy and Doles. So we're the founders of BSides Perth. And BSides Perth has really been running since 2017 and it's been gaining popularity every year. This is our fourth BSides Perth, and we're pretty excited to have it. So anyone that's been involved with BSides and any conference in general, we really rely on sponsorship. It's huge and it's really important to have that sponsorship to be able to run a conference. We've got a few sponsors this year, so bear with me. I want to list them all out and say thank you. They provide cash, they provide prizes, they provide events like CTF, everything so we're actually able to run a good conference for everyone. So firstly, platinum sponsor, Kinetic IT Protect Plus. Kinetic IT is great. They've been a sponsor since we started in 2017. We've got Kev O'Sullivan, head of security for Kinetic IT, who's on the call and he'll be speaking a little bit later on. Gold sponsors, this year we've got CyberCX, we've got Telstra Purple and PwC. We've also got a range of silver and bronze sponsors. So silver, we've got Canva, CrowdStrike, AusCyber, WA Innovation Hub. For bronze sponsors, we've got CyberSec People, Exabeam, ES2, Rapid7, Trustwave. Special shout out there to Ricky. Again, Ricky's been another one that from CyberSec People who has been a ongoing sponsor with BSides Perth. CTF sponsor, we've got Fifth Domain. We've got Parks and Harry on the call from Fifth Domain who will be talking a little bit about the CTF this year. Also some prizes. We've got Pentester Lab, Exabeam's provided some prizes, and we've also got a range of other prizes for a range of things that are going to be happening at the conference this year. So since 2017, BSides has been running. As I said before, we've been hosted kindly by University of Western Australia in Netherlands. Each year we've grown in numbers. The first year, I think, Doles were talking about this before. So the first year we had around 150 people, and you said it was in the mathematics area. Was that right?
Yeah, that's right. The mathematics building, 150 people. That was the top end. So I think we had a few cancellations, but yeah, that was as many as we got in 2017.
Yeah, and each year it's got bigger and bigger, and this year's we're set to be a lot bigger, obviously. I can't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head, but we're getting more and more attendees every year. The exciting thing, and I guess the unique thing about this year is obviously we didn't have BSides 2020 because of COVID and because of the pandemic, but this year, this is the first time we've done this where we're going to have a BSides live event. So we're going to be able to go to the UWA and attend. Plus, we're going to have a live stream going on for those people in lockdown in other states that have bought tickets but can't get along. So Eastern Staters, I'm sorry, I feel for you. Hopefully you can still enjoy the conference. I want to talk a little bit about what's involved with running the conference, and myself, Doles and Dogsky will talk a little bit about that. So, guys, it takes a lot of effort to run a conference, as we know, and ironically, each year it takes more and more effort. We've all got our daytime jobs that we run. So all this BSides organisation run outside of work. Doles, Nige, whoever wants to start, how have you found it this year running the conference? Obviously during the pandemic, during work, but also trying to organise and set this conference up.
Definitely bigger than any other year before. And that seems to be the trend. We're just getting bigger. There's always more work to do, more sponsors to work with, which has been great for us. And yeah, like you said, we've got lots coming up for it. We've got free coffee in the morning, pizzas for lunch. We might even be looking into some donuts, as you might have clued in from Twitter the other day.
Yep. And Nige, what about from yourself? I mean, I know it's been a big year. We've had a lot of organisation, and even though we're not in lockdown here, a lot of our suppliers are based in the eastern states.
Yeah. I think we've kind of been a bit of a victim of our own success. First year, like Dole says, we started off small. We had a really good uptake. We got great sponsorship. Loads of those names that you've mentioned, Kinetic IT, Cybersec people, and so forth. And we've had that kind of repeat coming through. Second year that we ran, 2018, we kind of doubled in size again. And then 2019's conference, we were kind of hitting that kind of 500 number. I think we've been victims of our own success with that. Every year has been really, really good so far, and we put a huge amount of pressure on ourselves to try and make it something where everyone gets a huge amount of value from it every other year. So kind of feels a little bit this year with the stresses of lockdowns and supply shortages and everything else that we kind of reach a bit of a pinnacle of pressure and stress. And I think we've kind of slugged away through that. We've gone from being that kind of in real life conference to not just that, but virtually streaming all of the talks and everything as well. So try and reach that audience and try and give back to every one of our supporters who've kind of stuck with us over the years to keep making it a pretty awesome conference that it has been.
Yeah, exactly right. And you know, it is a lot of effort, but it's what we like doing. And for those that don't or not really sure about how BSides works, you know, BSides is a what you'd call a chain or a conglomerate of BSides conferences all around the world. We were second BSides in Perth. We work closely with BSides Canberra, who are obviously the biggest BSides in Australia. They helped us out a lot to get up and going back in 2017. It does take a lot of effort, and there's but the thing we like about BSides, and the most important thing to us, which is why we run it, is we want to make a conference that's affordable, that everyone get along to. So we want students, students are a keen focus for us, people getting into the cybersecurity industry, people interested, not everyone that's interested in the cybersecurity industry want to pay thousands of dollars for a conference ticket to come along and listen to talks and speak to sponsors. We want people to have an accessible conference to join and come and get some really good value. And as you've discussed already, it's a $50 ticket. You get a bit of swag. So this year, I can talk a little bit about it. You get a bag, get a really cool T-shirt this year. We might talk about the T-shirt a little bit later on in the call. Stickers, some other cool stuff we'll get along the way as well. Badges. We've got the CTF we're running as well. Again, thanks to Fifth Domain, who we'll talk to shortly. And also Lock Sport Table, which we do every year. That's always pretty popular, which is pretty cool. Nige, I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit. Badges, how much information or would you like to give people or keep from people this year?
Badges.
Yeah.
The bane of our lives most
right.
years. Sneaking Dolls will agree with me. We are not hardware experts by any stretch. First couple of years, we smashed some stuff together ourselves, made it work. It did some stuff. People made it do some more stuff, and it was pretty cool. And we always get some quite good engagement with that. 2019, we had some supplier challenges, lots of broken promises along that supply chain. And although the fact that the badges did arrive on the day, customs wouldn't let us get hold of those, so that was a bit of a write-off. If you're around this year, my garage is full of 2019 badges. Hit me up, and I'll hook you up with some kit. This year's has been a bit different. Supply chain issues have been huge. You'll have read in the news everywhere: component shortages, processor shortages. Everything's been really, really challenging. So there was no chance that you were going to get things like ESP chips, Pico chips, screens, and everything was always going to be quite a problem. And we've done the old merry dance of trying to design something. We've had some awesome support from a few individuals. So Shane, I don't know if he's listening in, has been really cool with some designs and stuff. So Shane's part of the Protect Plus team at Kinetic. And really tried to slim things down into something that provides a level of functionality and something that people can play with. But it isn't quite as fancy and battery powered as in previous years. So if all things being well, and just this second, I've had a text from DHL to say that something is in the air and heading over here. So fingers crossed, touch wood, everything else. We'll have a heap of badges. We went through about 56 different options for backup designs and dumb designs and everything else. But all things being well, all I will talk about is the There's some stuff on there that should hopefully work off RFID, NFC type principles. That should give people some things to play around with. There'll be a talk given over the weekend of the conference by Shane, who will tell you about some of the cool stuff that he's done with this technology and what you can make it do, and just how offensive you can make it. I always like getting up early to those emails from China saying, hey, that stuff that you wanted is totally out of stock. You've got to order some and it'll take weeks to get here. Oh, and by the way, I only know that you want a couple of hundred, but you've got to order a minimum of 4,000. So if you know anybody who wants a bag full of processors, then we've got some sitting in a warehouse over in China at the moment, and I'm sure that we'll just keep using those for whatever purposes suits us at a point in time. So touch wood, fingers crossed, there'll be something. It will have our quokka on there and a few other bits and pieces as well. Probably hand over to Doles at that point to talk a bit more about this year's conference animal.
Yeah, so before I do, I'll just remind everyone we will probably have a bit of time to do some Q&A. So please drop your questions into the chat on YouTube. If you scroll up a little bit, you'll see a message from us saying we also have a Discord, which is new. We're new to Discord. Please go easy on us. Don't know how it works yet, but please drop your questions in the live chat channel on Discord, and we'll get a moment to answer them.
While you've done that, I just want to answer a couple of questions that have come in, I guess, before we miss them. I've seen one from Cole. Do Eastern Staters get any swag? The answer is yes. So those people that have bought tickets, the $50 BSides tickets that were planning on attending the conference, you would definitely get your swag. We just need an address from you. There should have been an email that went out a couple of weeks ago asking for your address if you can't make it. Put your address in there. If you don't want to put it on there, ping us, email us, whatever. Give us your address. We'll send you the swag after the conference.
Yeah.
And I said there's lots of questions. And I did see a message pop up from a mate of mine, Hanno, and I don't want this to be a trending hashtag. He said Badgegate. No pressure for this year. That's all right. Sorry, Doles, you go.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So, yes, the quokka, the BSides Perth animal this year. We weren't really convinced by any of the names that came out suggested on Twitter. So we went with Quarantina, the quokka, which we're pretty happy with. So, and Quarantina, the quokka, she features on a lot of our swag that you can get in the swag shop. So that includes caps. You can buy T-shirts. You can buy kids' T-shirts. That's the only place you would get a kids' T-shirt. And the T-shirt design in the swag shop is different to the one that you'll get in your swag bag on the day.
Ooh.
It's a completely different design. So if you
sounds very exciting.
If you want this logo on the hoodie or the shirts, order from the swag shop. Otherwise, you'll get a different T-shirt.
Yeah, we've got a pretty cool design, which we won't give too much away on that, but we've got a cool design coming out in the T-shirts this year, which is pretty awesome. Great. So thanks. That's cool. Everyone's probably sick of us listening to us talk rubbish. So the cool thing is I've got Parks and Harry from Fifth Domain on the line. So Fifth Domain, as I said earlier on, Fifth Domain sponsoring our CTF. So it's probably a good opportunity now to have a chat with them and talk a little bit about what the CTF is involved this year at BSides Perth.
No worries. We'll be right back with them. Oh, hang on. And we're live. So I have dropped you, Nigel, and we've got Parks and Harry here. How are you, gentlemen?
Excellent. Fantastic. Thank you. How's it going over the other side of the country?
Excellent. Excellent. We're in Australia's best state, aren't we? Thanks for joining us over here.
Definitely in the least lockdown state.
Well, definitely the least lockdown state. Currently the least lockdown state. So we won't get too cocky there. Guys,
not a comment.
That's right. Thanks for joining today. Really appreciate the support that you've shown with BSides this year. As I said, Fifth Domain are the CTF sponsor for BSides. Harry, Parks, whoever wants to start off, tell us a little bit about the CTF this year.
Sure. I will kick into it. Unsurprisingly, Fifth Domain is sponsoring a CTF this year. That's pretty exciting because it means that you guys will have a virtual CTF to play with for the duration of the conference. So it'll be open to many, many people. Virtual ticket holders get a little bit of an extra bonus. And it'll run from, I believe, 10 a.m. on Saturday all the way through till 3 p.m. on the Sunday. So for the duration, with a little bit of time left to announce winners, which is also super exciting because any of the virtual ticket holders that play along will be able to win some cool swag and prizes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And which is pretty exciting. So I assume there's going to be, we'll have to host some sort of leaderboard or something similar. Can you talk about give us a sneak peek about any of the particular challenges?
I will throw all the way over to Harry for that, who is our data scientist and magician.
Cool. So the competition is a Jeopardy style format where the teams will have to complete a variety of different challenges in order to gain some points. We would be releasing the challenges in buckets, whereby we'll be releasing some amount of challenges at the start and then adding to the bucket. For every successful challenge, you earn some kind of points, and the points will be different for different category of challenges and different difficulty of challenges.
That's what sort of skill levels required? So we've got obviously a range of people coming to BSides Perth. We've got students, we've got experienced security people. What sort of level of knowledge would you need to know to join the CTF?
So yeah, it goes all the way from beginner level to hard. There will be a range of challenges for different categories and different difficulty levels. There are 8 categories in total, ranging from OSINT, open source intelligence, to forensics, to steganography, scripting, reverse engineering. So yeah, all sorts of challenges, all sorts of different difficulty levels. Something for everyone.
That's pretty exciting, and I'm looking forward to it because I know that you guys have put a lot of effort into this, so it's going to be pretty exciting for everyone joining. So what's required? What do people need to bring if they want to be part of the CTF? In terms of what specs they need, laptop, tools, what would they need at a minimum?
At the very minimum, they're going to need to actually register for the CTF. That link will go out initially to all the ticket holders, I believe, on the 15th. And so there'll be a little bit of pre-registration stuff. There is a cap to the number of people that can actually play as well. So getting in early is very good. And links will be available on the day as well. So if there's spare capacity, it will be opened to the broader public and everyone can jump in. In terms of some technical stuff, it's probably best to run a Kali VM or another VM of a Linux distro of your choosing. You may want a cheeky little Windows VM floating around as well, so you can do some Windows-based stuff. In terms of specs, I don't think there's going to be anything too horrendous in there. So as long as you can run those VMs at minimum requirements, you should be fine.
That's super exciting. So we're really looking forward to getting that up and going. And guys, thanks a lot for again sponsoring BSides Perth and providing your CTF. I know we'll get a list of prizes out for different parts of the CTF as well. Who obviously the overall winner, but obviously we're going to do different ones throughout the CTF as well. So guys, again, thank you very much for joining today's call. Again, appreciate the sponsorship that Fifth Domain are providing BSides Perth, and we'll see you on the day.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Harry. Thanks, Parks. See ya.
thanks to Fifth Domain guys. It's really cool that we're able to have them on board. Doles, we've lost Nigel for a little bit, but that's okay. Just want to talk a little bit more about some stuff that we've spoken about before.
All right, he's back.
He's back. Okay, there he is. Hello, Nige. Swag shop. We spoke about the swag shop. What's the best way for people to get on the swag shop and buy some stuff online?
So right at the top of our website, bsidesperth.com.au, there is a button for the shop. I can't show it right now, but button for the shop that will take you to an external website at Spreadshirt, where you can order all of the swag.
Cool. That's awesome. Now, we've got some pretty exciting news, and hopefully, I know we might have alluded to it a little bit on the call already, but virtual conference. So BSides Perth, we're running and we're in person, and for all those ticket holders that get the swag and all the benefits of joining BSides Perth, that's still going on. But we've had a lot of requests about people that still want to listen to some talks. You know, as you know, we've got a lot of our brothers and sisters in the eastern states and even all around the world locked down. So we want to make sure that we can still provide some quality BSides Perth content to them. So we've decided to release some virtual only tickets. And what does it mean by virtual only? So virtual only is going to be you can join in on our live stream, which we're going to be live streaming a lot of our talks to. Not all talks, because there's a couple that we can't, but most of the talks will be pushed out live stream to any virtual ticket holders. Now, how do you get a virtual ticket? So we're going to release probably tonight the virtual tickets. Now, the virtual tickets are free. So they're free. However, there is a paid option where we've got a area where you can choose how much you want to donate to 0xcc. Nige, since you're back on the call, do you want to just talk a little bit about why we've chosen 0xcc to be our prime key recipient of any proceeds that we get from the virtual tickets?
So this is something that Lana set up, and she's had pretty good support from other conferences. I know there's some stuff this year with BSides Canberra as well. A lot of personal donations from people who've gone into that, and conference donations and bits as well. It's all really, really pretty good stuff. So people that are kind of not represented well or disadvantaged in some way, whether that be financially or just locations, there are opportunities to help get people together and take some benefits from making a contribution towards this, to help people get a foot in the door, a foot on the ladder, whatever you want to call it, to get into the industry and come and meet and greet and network and see those kind of talks. So it felt like something that we would have some capacity to be able to achieve and support this year. And I think going forward from after this year's conference, we'll be sitting and spending some time with Lana and other people that are involved to work out what that funding looks like and how best we see that kind of distributed across the kind of cybersecurity community across Australia, and see who can benefit from that. And it may be supporting people from eastern states that wouldn't otherwise be able to come across to Perth in the future, when the world stops burning. But we'll see what that looks like, and it's pretty exciting for us to be able to have an opportunity to put something else back out into the conference in over more than just a weekend in September.
It is, and it's pretty exciting. So just to recap on that, what does that mean? So we obviously all those people that have paid for tickets already, you're going to be getting a swag. So we're still going to be offering the live stream for those that can't make it and have paid for your B-sides. We hopefully appreciate that you'll still get your swag, all the stuff that we included and the live streams. This virtual only option is going to be just that. It's going to be virtual only tickets. You can watch it from anywhere in the world. Again, the tickets are free, but there's an option to pay. We strongly encourage you to make some sort of donation to 0xcc, which you can do when you sign up for the tickets, because it is a really good cause, as Nigel stated, and we're really keen to support them. So we'll put something up on Twitter and LinkedIn later on today, but anyone that wants to join, get on it. Cool.
Right, before we go to bring Kev from Kinetic IT in, I'll just address some of the questions coming through the chat. Silvio, yes, you noticed that my top has Doles written on it. when you order at the swag shop, there is a customize button, so you can get anything you want printed on anywhere on the hoodie and the shirts, I believe. So yeah, go nuts on that, of course. We had a question for laptops regarding the CTF. Will there be power available? Yes, there is heaps of power around the place. You don't need to worry about having good battery life on your laptop. And George, yes, the stream might be dropping. It could be me. It could be the connection. I'm not sure. Still learning.
I believe the audio is all good, but we'll make sure we sort that out before the big weekend.
Great.
Cool. All right. So let's cut over to Kev from Kinetic IT.
All right. Back in a sec. All right, and we are back.
Cool. So, as I spoke to you about before, BSides Perth heavily relies on sponsors, and this year we've had the biggest subscription of sponsors we've ever had for BSides. We've got some really big names, and we're really thankful and honoured to have those people a part of us. What makes it even more special is companies like Kinetic IT, who have been a sponsor, with BSides back from when it was an initial idea in Dole's, Nige and my head back in 2016, 2017. And I know conversations we had with Kev around that particular time, there was no issues about being willing and keen to support that idea before anything was even existed. So for those that have run a conference before, that at those initial second year, it's really hard to try and get some sponsorship onto a conference that hasn't been run yet for three dodgy looking people who are asking for money to run a conference. So we do really appreciate it. So as I said, we've got Kev O'Sullivan from Kinetic IT, Protect Plus. Kev, good to have you online. As I said, Kinetic's been a sponsor of BSides Perth since the start. Obviously see value in BSides and BSides Perth. What can you tell us about your experience with BSides Perth so far?
Yeah, thanks, P. Just first up, mate, just like to congratulate the three of you for just continuing progressing with BSides. Just watching it develop over the last couple of years has been quite outstanding, and even with where we are with the global situation, and I think we just have to recognise we're pretty lucky to be able to have this event the way that you are running it, and a big call out to you to actually create those virtual tickets, all that going to a good cause. So I mean that sort of leads into our involvement. When you established this, it was all about the community. So it was making it really accessible, making it inclusive, and even in the previous events, Nige, even seeing your young daughter at the time come along to the event. That's why we sponsor it, because we see that contributing to building a capability that's Australian, having a way to showcase the talent we have in both Perth, and you've had some international speakers come in, and we've got like a bunch of really capable men and women from across Australia also contributing as well. So that's kind of the core of why we're involved.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Kev. Appreciate your comments on that, and it's been really good working with you as well. So I know we've released these speakers. We haven't released the schedule yet, but what topic are you most excited about seeing at this year's event, or any BSides really? I mean, what sort of talks do you like listening to the most?
Oh man, I tell you what, man, I think you've got over 40 speakers in this year's event. And all the topics are so diverse, but I mean, there's a couple that I'm really keen to look at. One's from Bex. I know she's from Paraflare. She's one of your colleagues, Nige. Look at even the topic around digital transformation of the illicit economy and outsourced crime providers. What a leading line there. And I think I'm really interested to hear about her war stories and OPSEC fails and things like that. I'm really keen to see that one. Also, we've got Andre, who's a student from Curtin University, and he's talking about social engineering, and there's plenty of fish in the sea, and he's got some new sort of definitions around fishing and smishing and the whole works. I think that should be really great to hear what's happening from his view from Andre at university, and also with Gareth. I know Gareth's been around for a long time, but even his thing about he's keen to sort of talk about the non-obvious in cyber. So they're the three that I'm really keen to look at. But I mean the caliber of talks is just pretty next level. So the event's going to be awesome.
It is, and I know we spent a bit of time looking at the talks. There was a great range of submissions, and unfortunately, were some we had to say no to just because we couldn't fit them in. Nigel's done an excellent job trying to get everyone's talk time down so we can get as many people talking as possible, which is great. So Nigel's probably got a few more grey hairs from organising the schedule and trying to get those ticket times down, talk times down. It's been a long week. So, Kev, what about I'll go a bit more broad here. What challenges do you see today in current cybersecurity industry? I mean, I know it's a bit of a vague and bit of open question, maybe particularly towards cybersecurity careers and people wanting to get into the industry.
Yeah, I guess there's so much. I mean, the industry is quite broad, but I guess the main challenge I see is just the narrative. Because there's lots of technical terms. And like us as cyber professionals, we kind of tend to lean towards making things complex. And I think the challenge is we just need to simplify the language to make it a little bit more accessible, understood across other people who aren't in the industry that we're playing in. Because we all know it's just not one-dimensional. There's just so many elements of it. And I think the main challenge is to make it more accessible and understood. So let's simplify how we talk about it.
Yeah, that's cool. I completely agree there. And the next question, I guess, this is something that we've, when we used to work together and we're looking at hiring people and getting people in the cybersecurity industry. To you, what skills set people apart? So when you look at hiring cybersecurity people, what do you look for in particular? What do you think sets them above the rest?
Yeah, I mean, I'll answer it more broadly if that's okay, Pete. Sure. I mean, the thing for me, it's this industry. It's all about diversity of thought, diversity experience, diversity of background. The industry is very inclusive and welcoming. So there's so many different roles that people can walk into, and even if they're coming from other sort of verticals or other experiences, but it's no surprise we'd all be talking about the same thing. It's all that willingness to learn, able to adapt to change. Like, things are pretty rapid and fast moving. Engagement with teams and people, and being creative. And I think that's kind of the core sort of foundations that we look at people. And obviously there's people who have different personalities, personas, and it's not all about being the extroverts, welcoming those introverts and those deep thinkers. It's just, it's a great environment industry that we're working in. Yeah,
exactly right. And last question for you, Kev. I know that you've got a few things organised for this year's conference. Kinetic's always been keen on getting people into the cybersecurity industry and promoting their career and all that sort of stuff. What have you guys got in store this year?
Oh, we've got a couple of things. So we're having a sort of a breakout sort of session where we've got a few from our crew, from our recruiting team, even like Shane from one of our testers. We've got a few sort of challenges and sort of things to talk to our people about the sort of roles we've got to offer. So it's a very interactive thing, mate. So we're really, really, really excited to see the people come along to the event. So there'll be a lot of people from across our business who are there to talk to a lot of people actually coming to the event. So there's a bunch of things that will be, I guess, released as we get closer to the weekend.
Awesome. Thanks, Kev. I appreciate you joining today's call again, and really appreciate Kinetic IT's sponsorship, in particular Platinum sponsorship this year. It's greatly appreciated, and look forward to seeing you there again this year, Kev.
No, all good, mate. I really appreciate the opportunity. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Nice one. Thanks, Kev.
Cheers, Kev.
All right. So next up, we might have a chat to ICD.
Yes,
who's one of our speakers. Now, you can check out all of the speakers that we've got on the website. There's a button right at the top for speakers. Go and check them out. But right now, we'll have a chat to Ian.
Oh God,
Ian, you're on stage.
So, ICD, based in Canberra. You're going to be talking about some SOC stuff. But firstly, don't know if everyone knows this, but you're a ComfyCon organizer, so you're aware of our pain for running a conference.
I am uniquely, shall we say, understand the challenges. I guess the thing I've always said is I'll never run a physical conference just because I know how insane amount of work you guys need to put in to run a physical conference. The virtual one, I think like the fact that you're running a virtual one and a physical one at the same time makes you more brave than I am, because trying to link those two worlds together is going to be really worth it. I think like 100%, bringing everyone together from everywhere, especially when you've got us filthy Eastern staters who are not allowed to come into your wonderful state. We'll leave that alone. But bringing the whole community together and making sure that they can all interact, they can all learn, and then they can all work together towards that single building cybersecurity capability across the country.
Yeah, cool. And so you're going to be talking at BSides Perth this year. Tell us a little bit about you. Wow, you are.
First I've heard of it. No. So I'll start with the background to this actually, because I won't say it's the reason why I'm talking, but it was a bet that was made between myself and a certain Nidogski in a pub in Canberra in April. And it was something along the lines of, if I submitted to BSides Perth, he would submit to BSides. No, sorry, not BSides. ComfyCon. And unfortunately, ComfyCon was going to happen, and he didn't submit a talk. So I fulfilled my end of the bargain. He did not fulfill his end of the bargain. I'm not saying that's an indicator of future success with the badges, but I know that's a sore subject.
We'll hold him accountable.
I just don't recall specifying a year. It will definitely happen. I think the date's changed and some stuff going on just clashed, but it's definitely there in the offing and semi-drafted.
Okay, well we'll get it in your performance review for a year, and that'll make it definitely happen. So some of you guys know that I've been spending the last 2 years basically building SOCs for a number of federal government agencies, and it's insane sometimes where you start from. You start from like, I need a SOC. And you go, well, why do you need a SOC? And they don't really have an answer. It's like, a SOC is really cool and it will help defenders and all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of looking at what the questions you need to ask, but also what the flow-on effects to those questions are. A lot of people don't understand that if you change one small thing, you can change a whole raft of other issues. And a great example of that is, do I go 9 to 5? Do I go 7 to 7? Or do I go 24/7? The manning requirements when you go between those things completely changes your costing profile. And all of that should be driven by what you actually want out of the SOC. So the talk is basically trying to get people who are trying to build those SOCs, people who say, I want a SOC, to understand what they are actually asking for and what the kind of questions they should be working through before they actually go and press the button and say, we're going to have a SOC.
Yep. Oh, that sounds awesome. And up from working in SOC before, completely understand the challenges in that and the differences between, as you said, business hours compared to 24 hours. It's big changes, right?
Yeah, you can go from having like 5 people 9 to 5 to needing 50 people for a 24/7.
Yeah.
Like just noting the shift rosters and all that kind of stuff, the cost can increase so dramatically.
They can. Just on a side note, Doles, it looks like we're having issues with the stream. A few people saying it's buffering. Not sure if it's still recording, but we'll continue on as if it is.
There's a few changes we can make for the next one, and obviously the conference on the day. Noticed a few issues, so we can clean them up, but we can't do much about it right now.
All good. ICD, thanks a lot. I appreciate you joining today's call. Hope all is well over there, and stay safe, and we'll be speaking to you on the 18th, 19th of September.
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you guys for making it so that I can still talk to you guys, because I love BSides Perth. You guys know that I came down in 2019. I think that was actually my first BSides, to be honest. So I'm really keen to actually come back and to talk to you guys again.
Awesome.
Great.
Thanks.
Look forward to it.
Talk to you then.
Thanks, ICD. All right, just us again. I think we've probably just got a few points to close out now. That is all of our guests.
It is. So probably just want to, again, reiterate the value that the sponsors bring to the conference. Really important to have sponsors on board. I'll make it very clear, we can't have a conference without sponsors. It's, the first couple of years that we ran the conference, we had to foot the bill out of our own pockets and try and get some of that money back over time. But, it is a costly exercise. Now having the sponsors involved helps us run the conference effectively and efficiently, which is excellent. So we really do thank them very much for being able to help us run that. Virtual tickets, just making sure everyone's aware of that. We'll be sending out some more info and links this afternoon. And I think that's it. Anything from you, Dols? Nige?
No, I think just thanks everyone for joining in this this live stream. We might try to do another one in the next couple of weeks before the conference. If not, the next one will be at the conference, or from the conference.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, thanks, guys. I think that's a wrap, and we'll put this up on live. So hopefully, if it's not choppy and not streaming for everyone to record it, you can watch again later if you really want to.
Excellent.
Cool. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Take care, everyone.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.